Border Management Authority Commissioner Dr Mike Masiapato has been visiting the Beitbridge Border Post in Musina to monitor law enforcement efforts following the Easter long weekend. Dr Masiapato will be at the port of entry between South Africa and Zimbabwe until tomorrow. The BMA has deployed technological security measures such as drones and body-worn cameras to curb illegal activities at the port of entry. High traveller volumes are expected as many make their way home to various destinations following the Easter long weekend. SABC News reporter Koketšo Motau and videojournalist Llewelyn Carstens caught up with the Commissioner. Take a look.
Well, thank you so much. I can tell you that we are indeed here at the Beitbridge Border Post between South Africa and Zimbabwe. We understand that the BMA Commissioner, Dr Mike Masiapato, is here to monitor the situation, as we understand that today some of the Zimbabweans are making their way back from the Easter weekend. And I want to speak to him here. Dr Masiapato, thank you so much for joining us here on SABC News. Let's talk about the significance of this walkabout today and your visit to this border post today.
No, thank you very much, So let's start by indicating that, yes, we are here. We are basically to monitor the operations in the port. We are now actually sitting on the return leg in as far as our Easter operations are concerned. We fairly concluded the exit leg in as far as the implementation of our plan, and that was basically from Tuesday last week until into Thursday. So we've been able to implement that successfully. So now from yesterday, which is Sunday, until today, we are now busy with the return leg. So up to this point, I'm very much satisfied. I have been briefed by the Port Management Committee, which is basically a committee of multi-stakeholders. It includes our colleagues from the police, it includes the BMA itself, it includes local traffic, it includes the Cross-Border Road Transport Agency, the SNDF, together with state security and the like. So on that basis, the briefing had actually gone very well, indicating how we are going to be dealing with the return leg. We are expecting high-level number of people, coming through into the port, coming from the continent, returning to South Africa. But at the same time, we are also expecting some high number of people that will be exiting South Africa, coming from Moria in Polokwane in particular, returning to the continent.
We also saw last week, you were using technology to, sort of intercept and for surveillance around the border. So tell us about the significance of this new technology, particularly using the drones and also the body-worn cameras.
Yeah, the first thing that we need to agree on is that when you do this kind of work without drones, it becomes very much expensive and it becomes very much ineffective, primarily because you are basically just patrolling. You patrol in the dark, you do not know whether you will get the people or you will meet people or anything of that sort. So it becomes ineffective. But now with the introduction of the drones, the most powerful part of it is we are able to monitor across the vulnerable segments. We are able to monitor in the port but also on the corridor. Now on the vulnerable segments, we are then able effectively to see when individuals are attempting to enter the country illegally. So in terms of here in Beitbridge, together with the issue of the river here, we are able to see people being put in the boat and they are basically crossing the river with those individuals. So what we basically do is we allow them to come through, and as they come through, we are able to then send the coordinates to our border guards on the ground, obviously engaging with them through the push-to-talk devices that they have on the ground, and on that basis they're able to go specifically where those individuals are, and they're able to get those people intercepted. It is for that reason that we can talk about 1,000+ people that has been intercepted just in the past 4 days during this particular period. It is because of the assistance of those drones. The most important thing, Koketšo, that we are actually looking at implementing, we need to actually have a targeted approach where we identify the facilitators for this illegal migration issue and get them arrested. When we arrest the facilitators, we don't necessarily deport them. We take them to the police station in Musina. We make sure that we open a criminal case for aiding and abetting under Section 49(2) of the Immigration Act.
And then in terms of these body-worn cameras, how are they assisting in terms of reducing corruption by some of the officials from the BMA or the border guards?
Yeah, you see the body-worn cameras actually is a multi-tasking base based device. Part of what they do, for instance, it also serves as a bit of I will say a panic button. So if a border guard in the bush then gets some kind of being under siege, is able to press the button, and then there will be a cover. In other words, there will be people coming through. But in terms of corruption, the most powerful part of the body cams is that every interaction that our officials have with the traveler is on both audio and visual in the control room. In other words, in the area of control, where we are able to hear them as they talk to the travelers, even as they interact with them. So that on its own, what it does is it actually serves as a deterrent, so that people will not necessarily discuss nefarious activities with the travelers to the extent that anybody can be given some figures and stuff like that, which used to be the occurrence in certain instances. So this time around, should we pick up anybody doing anything like that? By the way, the footage that comes out of this, and as well as the audio, we will be able to use it for consequence management.
And then previously you've been hiring these drones from other departments. So this time around, is there any plan to procure your own drones that you're going to use for this kind of job?
Yeah, you see, Koketšo, in December and January, we were using the drones that we borrowed from the Department of Agriculture. They assisted us very much. But by the way, now we have our own drones. And by the way, these drones that we are talking about here, these are the BMA drones. We ordered them through AMSCO in 2023. Now we are actually implementing them live. And this implementation now is not just for now, during this festive. Now this is a permanent deployment going forward. The only issue, unfortunately, is that we talk about 4 in the meantime. In terms of the body cams, we talk about 40 of them. But in terms of the staff complement, we talk about over 2,000 people. So you can see the range that we still need to cover. Now, in terms of the actual deployment, we talk about 4 of our top land commercial ports where we have deployed this, but we have 52 land ports. Out of the 52, we have over 30 that are commercial. So you can already see that we still need some further investment as the BMA to be able to procure more of these drones, more of the body cams, and make sure that we are able to cover the entire ecosystem in as far as border management is concerned. But we do believe that with the kind of success that will demonstrate out of these 4 ports, there should be some bit of traction for investment in this particular space, which will then enable us to be able to procure more of this technology so that we can be able to do this work better going forward.
Maybe just the last question, just also give us the overview, in terms of the situation in other ports of entries, including the airport as well.
Yeah, you see, in terms of the ports of entry, generally, I can confirm to you, everybody is basically very much ready to be able to handle the return leg. So it is only here in Beitbridge where we talk about the complexity of the return and the exit being more kind of intertwined because of the ZCC issue, as I've said. The rest of the other ports, they're going to deal with the return. I was just interacting with the colleagues at Lebombo where I was last week. They're very much ready. The numbers have started to trickle in as the people are starting to return into the country. So on that basis, everything is going well. In terms of Groblersdal Bridge, for example, you'll be aware this is the port that was affected by the floods. As we speak now, the colleagues are ready to be able to handle the traffic coming back into the country. In any event, in Groblersdal Bridge, we don't have too much of traffic in terms of people, but it's more critical on cargo, as it were. But otherwise, the colleagues are ready. The rest of the other ports, with Botswana, for example, everything is going well. Maseru Bridge, as well as Fixback, which are the ports to Lesotho, as an example, the colleagues are there. I mean, our CTO, our Chief Technology Officer, is deployed in Maseru Bridge, for example. He's actually monitoring the activities there in Maseru Bridge, as well as in Fixback. Everything is going according to plan. In terms of all our land ports, we've been averaging between 15 and 20,000 travelers per day. But then in terms of the highest number, actually in our airports, and that is OR Tambo, is averaging at around 24,000 travelers per day, and that is the top one, followed by Cape Town and then followed by Kinshasa, as it were. In terms of harbors, everything is going well. There have been some bit of cruise liners that actually went into the sea via Durban Harbour as well as Cape Town Harbour. We were able to process those people out as they went into the sea during last week. Now, as we speak, they are actually on the way back into the country. We are very much ready to process them into the country. So from where we are sitting, we are very much happy in terms of the implementation of the border management plan throughout the entire ecosystem in terms of land, air and sea.
Well, Dr. Masiapato, thank you so much for talking to us here on SABC News. This is the Commissioner of the BMA Border Management Authority here at the Beitbridge Border Post, monitoring the situation. We understand that we are expecting, most travelers, particularly from Zimbabwe and other SADC countries, to use this very same, port of entry to come to South Africa following that long, Easter long weekend.